Mistfall Hunter is a PvPvE RPG extraction game. If you die, you lose whatever you bring in, and if you extract, you keep everything you find. You spawn in a map either as a solo or a squad of 3 along with other enemy players. Your goal is to gather as much loot as you can, kill any other players you encounter and extract. This game does not have a PvE mode. It is a PvP heavy game. There are endgame PvE bosses, but your main challenge will be from facing other players for the majority of the game. If this is your first time playing, and especially if you are new to the genre, you are likely to fall into many pitfalls that the game's tutorial will not teach you. The goal of this video is to equip you with basic principles to follow, in order for you to go in more confident on what to do and how to improve. If you are completely new to the game, I highly recommend you watch the official hunting system guide video made by the development team. It will cover most of the basic systems that are present in the game, and make this video easier to follow along. This will be a 2-part series. Starting with this video, it is divided into 3 sections: pre-game, in-game, and early game. Pre-game will cover everything you need to know before you start playing the game. In-game will cover what you should focus on in your first 20 to 30 raids or so. Early game will cover what your goals should be in order to progress efficiently through the game. I will cover your mid-game goals and trio play in the next video. So let's start with the pre-game information. These are basic things you should know before even starting to play the game. Starting with number 1, there is no MMR system. If you are used to other competitive games, this game is nothing like them. There is no ranked queue or skill-based matchmaking. You can end up in the same lobby as the top players or someone who just started. Instead, the game uses gear brackets. This means that a player with endgame gear cannot play in the same lobby as you in your starter gear. You can see which gear is allowed on which map before you queue into the game. Number 2, you are going to encounter strong players. Mistfall has had many playtests up until this point. While most players you encounter will be at a similar point as you are, there is still a considerable amount of players who have played for over 100, 200 or even 500 hours. Don't get discouraged. When you first start playing, you are going to lose a lot before you start winning. We have all been there. The genre has a steep learning curve, and I want you to be aware of this. At the same time, it can be one of the most rewarding experiences. I highly recommend you stick with it and keep trying. Number 3. Pick a strong solo class and learn it. As tempting as it may be to play the class that you like the look of the most, this game is not entirely balanced well for solo play. Certain classes will outperform others, and starting with a weaker class will make the game much harder for you. If you wish to try out the other classes later, they are very easy to level up. At the time of recording, the best solo classes are Black Arrow, Shadow Strix, Sorcerer, and Blasphemer Seer, though keep in mind, Seer is likely to fall off later on. The game will start with a fresh balance patch, so some classes might be missing from this list. While I cannot recommend it in full confidence, the Wither Knight will get a fresh set of new skills on launch, so it's very likely it will perform quite well in solos. If you intend to play trios, almost any class is viable, but I will still recommend you learn a strong solo class at first. Number 4. Bring more potions with you. The game gives you some potions for free to start with, but they are nowhere near enough what you actually need. They are your main way of healing between fights and from damage taken by monsters. As soon as you are able to purchase them, you should bring in at least 1 full row of potions or even more. This covers the pre-game basics. Next up, I will cover what sort of things you ought to be focusing on once you're in-game. I will cover how to increase your chance of extraction, come out with more loot, and increase the rate at which you progress through the game. Number 1. Keep a high tempo. This is by far the most important piece of advice I can give you for this genre. From the second you load in to the second you extract, every second counts. Play it like you are trying to speedrun the game, clear mobs as fast as you can, loot quickly, always keep moving, and do not crouch walk through the map. It might be tempting to sneak around, but moving slowly is far more likely to get you found and killed. Only do this if you are trying to evade a player that hasn't spotted you or heard you yet. When you first start playing, it will take some time for you to get used to the map, enemies, and good loot locations. However, your objective should always be to be more efficient each time. Number 2. Extract early. Do not greed for more loot. Overstaying means a higher likelihood of more fights, which means more chances to die and come out with nothing. You will be able to progress much faster, upgrade your camp, and equip better gear much sooner if you stick to the simple rule. Number 3. Don't loot every mob you kill. Basic monsters very rarely drop any good loot, and looting each mob takes time. Focus on monsters that drop gil, denoted by a yellow orb above their body. Always loot large enemies and enemies marked as elite next to their HP bar. Elites are a lot tougher to kill and their attack patterns need to be learned, but are one of the best sources of safe early income. Other good sources include item caches that have a blue glow on them, as well as loose loot you can quickly pick up as you are passing through. Number 4. Prioritize camp upgrade items over gear. Camp upgrade items are very easy to sell and will be useful in upgrading your camp. Grey and green rarity items stack in your inventory, meaning you can carry more of them. On the other hand, early gear does not matter that much. Only carry what you can equip or have spare inventory slots for. The difference between a green rarity and a white rarity set of equipment is negligible. If you find any blue gear, obviously you should keep it, either to sell or equip later, but otherwise focus on the camp materials. Note that high rarity gear does not automatically get stored in your secure pouch. You will have to manually place it there if you want to keep it in case you die. Number 5. Learn player spawn locations. When you first load into the game, take a note of your spawn location. The easiest way to do it is by taking a screenshot of the full-size map when you first load in. By memorizing spawn points, you can gauge how likely an area is to be contested if you choose to approach it. Number 6. Stick to map edges. By avoiding common hotspot zones, you are less likely to encounter other players. Common areas of activity are golden chests, elites that are marked on the map, and any area close to the center of the map. Do not cross through the middle of the map, as this drastically increases your chance of running into a player, especially a player who will often be more confident at PvP. Note that even if you stick to the map edges, you are likely to encounter other players. You should try to fight them. Even if you die and lose all your gear, you aren't going to be losing much at this stage of the game, and it will help you improve in the long run. Number 7. If you spawn next to a gold chest, take it as fast as you can. If you are the first to do it, you can store the most valuable loot from it in your pouch. This usually happens automatically, but sometimes you might want to exchange more valuable loot for the loot you picked up earlier. If you are quick enough and no other players spawn nearby, you can leave the area uncontested. Do not linger there. Focus on killing the mobs required for opening the chest, loot and get out. When you leave the area, close the door behind you. All doors are closed by default, so any open door leaves a hint as to the direction you went. Number 8. Focus on the main questline. Especially early quests are relatively simple to complete and give you a guaranteed reward which offers a decent boost on top of whatever loot you bring out. Number 9. Complete side tasks. Side tasks are marked with a blue square on the map. Most of them are on the map edges, their objectives are simple to do, they take you to areas that are rarely contested and offer decent loot. Keep in mind that once you accept a side task, the blue square will vanish for all players from the map. A vigilant skilled player may be able to notice this and may move in your direction. Once you complete the task, don't linger in the area for too long. Number 10. Use potions often. This is the main reason you need to bring in a lot of potions with you. If you take damage from monsters, you should use a potion almost immediately. The healing is slow, and if you encounter a player while not at full health, you will be at an inherent disadvantage. Use the free weak potions first. If you kill a player, make sure to replenish your stock, and when you extract, store any excess potions you don't need in your stash. This will cut down on your early game expenses. While in game, listen out for enemy footsteps. They can be heard from quite a distance away. If you are fighting an elite or a tough monster, disengage and make sure you are healed to full. Number 11. Do not use a potion in front of your opponent. Normally potions are able to slowly regenerate your health. However, when in a PvP situation, any player damage, excluding damage over time effects, will stop the healing effect. If you have to heal in a pinch, use your victory wine, referred to as the horn for short because of its icon. Before you do, try to put some distance between you and the opponent, as many sources of direct damage will cancel the heal attempt. Only use the potion when you are either outside of the opponent's line of sight or attack range, and kite while the effect is active. Knowing when you can heal will be one of the more difficult things to learn, and you'll develop a sense for it over time. Number 12. Your dodge has invincibility frames. This game has one of the most forgiving iframe windows on the dodge. It covers almost the entire duration of the animation, excluding only the beginning windup and end. This will be especially useful when fighting elites, where often dodging into the enemy is more effective than dodging to the sides. If you are trying to hit a player with an important skill, the best time to hit them is right as their dodge finishes. Number 13. Anticipate the breakaway dodge. This game has a system that prevents you from being stagger locked by attacks. Once a player takes 2 hits from any source, he gets a free dodge. This is particularly useful if you are playing a melee class. If you hit your enemy twice, anticipate that they are going to dodge after the second hit, and avoid wasting a skill or attack. After they use this effect, they will be locked out of it for a brief period of time. This concludes the early in-game portion of this guide. So what happens now? You have successfully extracted with some loot and are wondering what to do with it. This section will cover the early game goals that you should be setting for yourself. Number 1. Always focus camp upgrades on the wine station first. Get your shop to a high enough level to where you can purchase green keys, and then prioritize upgrading your horn healing effectiveness at the goddess statue. Upgrading the wine station gives you a ton of flexibility in choosing your build, and will save you a lot of gil in the long run while trying to hit certain affix thresholds. Getting access to the key item in the shop gives you the ability to quickly open and close doors to get out of sticky situations, or even prevent an enemy's escape. The shop also gives you access to the yellow eyeball, which lets you detect stealth units with a generous range. The wine station should be the first one you get to the max level, whereas the horn will take a long time to fully upgrade, as it will cost exponentially more each time. Don't worry about rushing it to the max level. Number 2. Sell most of the crafting materials. When you start off, your stash size is very limited. If a crafting material has a similar shop sell price as the auction house price, you should sell it directly to the shop. Otherwise, always prioritize selling crafting materials to the auction house before any other type of item, as they are the quickest to sell. If you don't see a use for an item right now, don't worry too much about selling it. You can always buy it again from the auction house at a later point. After that, you should sell any gear and gems that you aren't going to use on the auction house. Gear and gems will typically have a worse price in the shop than the auction, but are a little slower to sell. Number 3. Once you hit level 12, find and copy a talent and skill build of a good player of your choice. Watch how they play. Make sure to read your abilities carefully and try to emulate some of what they are doing in your games. At this point, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get used to how your skills work, what their cooldowns are, and how much damage they deal. Number 4. Try to get into Chaos mode as soon as you can. This mode has considerably better loot. I recommend you take the bare minimum, especially on your first few tries. However, keep in mind that when you enter this mode with the bare minimum, you'll be free food for anyone even remotely geared. Your main goal here is just to try to survive and get out with as much loot as you can. There'll be other players like you here as well, so not every fight will be unwinnable. But if you run into anyone that's well geared, you need to run. The gear someone is wearing is marked by a symbol above their characters. If they aren't wearing a skin, you can also tell by what their gear looks like. The monsters are a little stronger than in normal mode, but nothing you shouldn't be able to handle. This concludes the first video in the series, and by following these steps you should be able to achieve a decent amount of wealth to be able to start making some decent starter builds and unlock your class's potential. To learn more about what this entails, check out the part 2 video, which will cover your mid-game goals and give you a concrete way with which to improve. Thank you for watching, and God bless.